huge garnishments, stop harassing collection calls, even eliminate your student loan payment. If you can't afford your student loans, or if you're past...
All right, Nick's ready. Stand by at the open.
Call right now. We will restructure your loan or your money back, and that's a guarantee. So call the Student Loan Hotline right now. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707.
All right, so welcome to the show, Fifth Street Soccer here on the Sports Byline USA and SB Nation Radio Networks. I'm Nick Eber. It is a pleasure to be with you. Welcome to the show. I'm pleased to let everybody know, or rather saddened to let everybody know, the big news coming from the front office here at Fifth Street Soccer, that Nick Eber, myself, your humble host, was not named either the best male player of the year or the best female player of the year at the FIFA Awards today. Personally, I was devastated I didn't get either award, but I didn't. But we will discuss who did get the awards today. The FIFA Awards, there was the Puskás Award, the best male player, the best female impersonator. Great stuff going on at the FIFA Awards today. We're going to get to them all. Also, we're going to talk about Chelsea. We're going to talk about Manchester United. We're going to talk about the Premier League, and also Frank Lampard making a return to Manchester United, but not as an opposition player this time. We're going to talk about that as well as we look forward to some of the matches midweek. And of course, I will be joined by my always happy and always animated co-host, Nick Webster. Some other stories making the rounds that we'll get to. We're going to talk more about this, shall we say, rather misguided La Liga game scheduled for, I believe it is January, in Florida. Will it happen? Won't it happen? Will it happen? Well, we'll give you the latest news on that. Plus, your calls, your thoughts, your comments, the way you participate. Give us a call in studio, 800-878-PLAY. That's 800-878-PLAY. Or you can talk to us, me, everybody here, on Facebook at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. We are streaming live on Facebook Live. We are streaming live on Twitter. By the way, we are broadcasting to our men and women in uniform around the world who are listening on the on the American Forces Network. So we welcome them to the show. It is always a pleasure to speak with you. And if you're listening to us on an affiliate station of Sports Byline or SB Nation, or streaming live on iHeart or TuneIn or Twitch, or it's like a menu. I have to read it out every show. Please. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be here for the whole hour. We're here every day, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, every day, as long as it's not a Saturday or Sunday, that is. But I am going to step aside, take a break, and I'll be back with my co-host, Nick Webster, and let's get things kicked off right here, Fifth Street Soccer.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
O'Reilly. To protect your engine, you have to change the oil. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $28.95. Protect your engine from sludge and wear, plus earn double points during O Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This online bank was foreclosing on us. They even had documents that I signed for a home equity loan, only I didn't. What a nightmare.
She's the victim of a devastating crime called mortgage fraud. Your home's title and mortgage are kept online, where thieves, foreign and domestic, hack them. It's simple. They forge your title and borrow every penny of equity you have in your home, like this police officer.
I know about title fraud, so I registered with Home Title Lock and discovered some thief had already taken over title. Thank God I found out in time.
No bank, identity theft program, or insurance protects you. Home Title Lock will. For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a barrier around your home's title and mortgage. The instant it detects tampering, they're on it, helping to shut it down. Find out if you're already a victim of title fraud. Get your $100 search free with sign-up. Visit HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
All right, welcome back to the show. Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation. I'm Nick Geber, and I'm joined now by my co-host, Mr. Nick Webster. Nick, good evening. How are you today?
Good evening, Mr. Geber. And yes, I too was absolutely staggered that you didn't receive a nomination for either the Best Female or Male Player of the Year. It just goes to show you how corrupt FIFA is these days.
Nick, you couldn't be more right. I mean, not even to nominate me for the Best Female Impersonator. I mean, it went to Marta instead.
Well, that's been your award for the last 15 years in a row. I mean, it's a done deal, isn't it?
It is. It's shocking, Nick. It's absolutely shocking. But you know what? While we're on the topic, let's talk about it. You know, I am so happy, first of all, that short of the FIFA Pro team, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi did not receive any awards at this particular Eurotrash Award Fest. However, I was a little surprised that Mohamed Salah, who I love, he plays for the team I love. I thought he was inspirational last season and scored a terrific goal against Everton. But how Cristiano Ronaldo's essentially Champions League winning bicycle kick didn't win the what's that? Gareth Bale, sorry. Thank you very much. I'm tired. Gareth Bale's Champions League winning bicycle kick did not win the Puskás Award is surprising to me.
Surprising to say the least. I mean, come on, Gareth Bale has just pulled off the hardest skill in football on the biggest stage, bar the World Cup final, and done it with aplomb. Meanwhile, you know, Mo Salah, yes, he did score a boatload of goals, but you know, it kind of was a humdrum, run-of-the-mill Premier League game. So, yeah, that one to me is a bit of a head-scratcher, especially as it's voted by coaches and players. One would have thought that Bale's would have been a shoo-in, but perhaps Gareth Bale isn't as popular as Mo Salah amongst the coaching and playing fraternity.
Yeah, that is a really interesting point, Nick, and I think therein lies the real issue. Look, I love Mo Salah, don't get me wrong. There's nothing not to like about Mohamed Salah. He's a success story. He's a nothing to everything story. He comes from a very poor family, from a country that's been struggling, and in Egypt, particularly in football. If you remember, just a few years ago, we had tragedy. I mean, how many deaths were there? I think Bob Bradley was over there coaching, wasn't he, Nick?
Yes, he was a league game, and supposedly, the Mubarak forces, or the Egyptian Prime Minister at the time, they closed off some exits, and it really was a very ugly situation. And I mean, I don't think it was a stampede; it was more like a murderous execution. So yes, for Egypt to be where they are is a remarkable achievement, and Mo Salah really is the shining light of Egyptian football. in every way you look at it.
And Nick, charming and humble and everything that you want in an athlete. So I get all of that, by the way. I get it. I just, if you're giving the Puskás Award, though, it has to go to Gareth Bale's goal, because ultimately all sports, look, you can watch The Great Race, The Voice, American Idol, if that's even on anymore, The Great Cook-Off, The Bake-Off, The Wank-Off, The Sister Wives, all of these rubbish reality shows on television. There is only one real reality show, and entertainment-wise, anywhere in the world, and that is live sports. It's unscripted. The drama comes out of nowhere, and you never know what the result's going to be. Which is why when Gareth Bale scored that goal, that was the ultimate reality show in the biggest reality show on earth. I'm sorry, Nick Webster. You and I both agree on this one, though. He should have got that award.
He should have got that award 3 times and twice on Sundays.
Yeah,
I mean, it was that simple, and that breathtaking of a goal in such a huge moment, such a monumental game. I mean, it's the Champions League final. It's Real Madrid against Liverpool. I think Gareth Bale pulls off a bicycle kick, and so often we see these bicycle kicks, and they're spectacular, but sometimes it's a bit shinny, or it's come off the side of the foot. I mean, who can not forget Rooney's against Manchester City? But when you slow it down, there was quite a bit of shin involved. But Gareth Bale's, I mean, he could not have hit it any sweeter if he tried.
Yeah. All right. Well, Luka Modric gets the world's best male player award. Look, it's hard to argue with that, really. I mean, it really is hard to argue with. He had an incredible run, Champions League, runners-up in the World Cup, just a terrific player. If there's ever a player that epitomizes the engine room of a team, it's Luka Modric, right?
Yeah, well, I am gonna give this one to Modric. No questions asked. I mean, you just mentioned yourself at the beginning of the show. Thank goodness it wasn't the Ronaldo Messi. And in all fairness, neither one of them deserved it this time around. Modric was the driving force behind Real Madrid winning the Champions League for the 3rd time in a row, the 4th time in 5 years. And he was the driving force that took Croatia all the way to the World Cup final. So, there are candidates that you can say had great seasons. But if you look at it as a whole, and you look at what Modric did, not only for Madrid, but for Croatia, who, for all their gifted players, I mean, you wouldn't have had them nailed on as World Cup finalists before the tournament started. So I think Modric gets that, and I have no argument with that.
Yeah, no, me neither. I think it's an award well earned, fully deserved. It's really nice to see. So we'll put those. We'll sort of put a line under those, Nick, and then let's talk about Didier Deschamps winning Manager of the Year. I mean, I think it's hard to argue that the manager that wins the World Cup shouldn't be the Manager of the Year. On the other hand, 3 Champions Leagues in a row is quite an achievement, as well as taking a nation like Croatia all the way to the finals. I mean, I forget what level of underdog they were at the beginning of the World Cup. We don't ever clean our studio here at Fifth Street Soccer, and I still think I've got my original notes from when the World Cup kicked off about what the odds were, but Croatia were way down there. So a great achievement, but I think it was Dalic is the coach. But it's hard to argue with Deschamps getting it.
No, I have no problem with that one either. You mentioned Zinedine Zidane, and obviously winning 3 Champions Leagues in a row is unprecedented, certainly in the modern era. Yes, you could argue that it's been achieved, Ajax and Bayern Munich in the 70s, but the 70s were a long, long time ago. Unfortunately, I can remember most of the games as well.
What are you talking about, Nick? I still have my polyester leisure suit.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You're probably wearing it now. Thankfully, I'm not on D-Mix tonight. But, Deschamps did have the best team, but, what we've seen many times that the best team doesn't always win the World Cup, and I think he grooved this France team perfectly after the disappointment of 2016 and losing the final on home turf. there was probably a lot more pressure on Deschamps than many of us realized. And as you said, he delivered. France won the World Cup. Deschamps should be the coach of the year. And the great thing is for Zidane, he'll get back in the game, and he will be recognized as a great manager.
Yeah, Croatia were plus 3,290 to win the World Cup. They made it to the finals. I don't have the odds in front of me for what it was for them to get to the finals, but it had to be something spectacularly ridiculous that makes you wish that you had made that bet, Nick. Speaking of bets, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the predictions we made last week. We actually came out on top of a couple of big betting results in terms of the odds, but we were somewhat average in the rest of our predictions. All right, Nick Geber and Nick Webster with you. By the way, when we come back, we're going to spend the entire next section talking about the FIFA Best Women's Player Award going to Brazil and Orlando Pride forward Marta. It's going to be scintillating entertainment, and I am, of course, just joking. When we come back, let's talk a little Premier League football. 800-878-PLAY, 800-878-PLAY. Nick Geber and Nick Webster with you. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. Oh, and by the way, when we come back, if you fancy a little wager, maybe not on football, but maybe on American football, I'm going to tell you how you can really get ahead in life.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next
All right, you're clear.
the phone and call? That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping.
Sounds good tonight.
Those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
All right, folks, welcome back to Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation, and of course, American Forces Network. It's great to speak with everyone serving our great nation around the world. It is a pleasure to bring this show to you. We're streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and video, live video on Twitch, Facebook Live, and YouTube. Well, I like to place a little bet every now and then. It's been, or so I've heard, or so people have told me. And we've had not the greatest results the last couple of weeks in the Premier League. We went from an absolutely blinding first three weeks to a very average second. But I've started recently betting on a little bit of American football and college football, NFL and the likes. And I know very little about these games, but luckily my colleagues here at Fifth Street Sports, they do the 1 p.m. show. They are some of the country's best and world's best sports bettors. And I've had an opportunity to take some of their advice. You can take that advice too, folks. If you would like to, right now on Fifth Street Sports, you can sign up for the Fifth Street Advantage. Every day, just about every day, you'll get a boatload of specialized picks coming into your text messages from some of the nation's best sports bettors and sports insiders. Take this opportunity and turn your bankroll into something meaningful. It's a very reasonable subscription, and right now, folks at Fifth Street Sports, they are bundling a subscription to Sports Insights and their information service, which is a line service, kind of like that cool Bloomberg terminal that stock traders use. You can find the best lines at the best books and casinos around the country. So go to the website, fifthstreetsports.com, and sign up now for your subscription to the Fifth Street Advantage. All right, let's get back to the show. Nick Webster, we have coming up the Carabao Cup midweek, and there, I believe, this week, we have 3 all Premier League clashes, if I'm not mistaken. We have Wolves versus Leicester. We have, what else? Liverpool, Chelsea, and we have Tottenham, Watford. It's one of these things, I think, where on these all Premier League clashes, you're somewhat sad if you're eliminated, but the other side of you is kind of smiling.
Yes, it really is a double-edged sword. The Carabao Cup, the League Cup. Back in the day, it used to be a tournament that many people like to win. These days, though, the big boys can't wait to get out of it soon enough. So I think it's an interesting one because still, at the end of the day, it's considered a major trophy, and Jurgen Klopp is yet to win a major trophy with Liverpool. And if we look at the teams they put out, I think it's going to say a lot about their, ambitions for the season overall. I mean, obviously the Liverpool-Chelsea game is certainly it's certainly the biggest game of the round, and in so many respects it's mouth-watering because they then meet in Stamford Bridge 3 days later. So I think there's a good chance that Klopp and Sarri will use this game as a marker of sorts for the weekend.
Well, Sarri has come out publicly and said that Chelsea, especially after their drop points over the weekend, of course, we didn't talk about that, and we will, but they dropped the first points of the season with a draw against West Ham United. By the way, let's not just say Chelsea were bad, had an off day. You've got to hand it. This was at home, at West Ham. West Ham, despite their middling results, which have really not been great certainly for the first 4 matches of the season, they've started to come around a little bit, and they are actually a squad of some really decent players. So let's not take credit away from West Ham United for getting the points against Chelsea. But Sarri has come out and said that Chelsea are still a work in progress, and they're not where Liverpool are. Maybe by next year they'll be at the level of Liverpool, but they're not there yet. So Sarri is trying to do what all managers do, some well, some rather clumsily, Jose Mourinho, which is manage expectations, Nick. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think he's trying to take some of the pressure off his team. We have spoken over the last 4 weeks of the Premier League season and said that despite Chelsea's great start, Chelsea really haven't played anybody of note, and that's not to disparage any of the teams that they have taken to the cleaners, but they haven't played one of the big boys, and this will be the first big test. We all know what Liverpool are about at Anfield. They have these moments where all of a sudden they can put their foot on the gas after 20 minutes and just blow teams out of the water. And I think one thing that Liverpool does have this year that they haven't had in the past is depth.
Well, no, two things. I'll give you two things. Depth and a solid defense.
Sturridge playing. Yeah, I fully expect to see Sturridge play. Shaqiri was going to play. Gomez is going to play. I mean, this is a team that really now fields 11 internationals as a reserve team. Do Chelsea have that same kind of strength and depth? I don't think not. So, I actually fully expect Liverpool to win this game on Wednesday and go into the game in Stamford Bridge full of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. It was interesting during the match against Southampton. I mean, Shaqiri played the first half. Klopp took him off at the half. I am absolutely positive that Shaqiri will start on Wednesday. And for a guy that is a sort of bench player, I mean, he bossed the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched the match live and hearing the NBC commentators stating that Shaqiri's taken out for tactical reasons, I didn't quite understand that one because, as you said, Liverpool have bossed the game. They're 3-0 up. If you're going to take him out for tactical reasons, it was to shut the game down. But, I don't even think that Liverpool needed to shut the game down at that particular point. So I felt like Shaqiri was taken out with Wednesday in mind and Klopp fully determined to give him 90 minutes.
Nick, the only thing I would caution to Jurgen Klopp, and of course Jurgen listens to this show and with a notepad.
All the time.
Yeah, and he takes note of what we're saying. There are, every few years, a Premier League race comes down to neck and goal differential being very important. And one of the things that I've seen Man City do since losing 2 points to Wolves, and they did draw that game 1-1, is to see them recently turning on the gas. 3-0 against Fulham, 5-0 against Cardiff, 6-1 against Huddersfield. It's putting the opponent to the sword. I know it's not sporting, but goal differential is not sporting. That's winning. And that I want to see a bit more of that from Liverpool because, quite honestly, it could come down to goal differential between Liverpool and Man City. And I know it's super early days yet, but, it's certainly shaping up that could be a factor.
Well, I believe in 2012 when Manchester City won the title on goal difference over Manchester United, if you went back to the early season games, I'm sure there was probably some matches where City and United were, cruising at 3-0 and the respective managers, Pellegrini and Ferguson.
Oh dear, I think we lost Nick.
So I think at some point,
All right, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to drop Nick and we're going to reconnect with him because maybe he didn't pay his cell phone bill. I wonder if that's what it was. We are, of course, talking about the Carabao Cup, which is midweek. Wednesday, we've got some great matches. When Nick comes back, we'll talk about Tottenham, Watford. We're going to talk a little bit about Spurs. If you remember, I believe it was Friday, I spoke to Tol Smith, a big Spurs fan, and he told me they were going to get back on track. I told him I thought they were going to get a draw. Well, they did beat Brighton Hove Albion away, so that was good on them, but they will be facing Watford in the Carabao Cup in the midweek. I personally like the Carabao Cup. I like the FA Cup. It is, as Nick pointed out earlier, it is silverware, and we are rejoined by Nick. Nick, look, Carabao Cup is silverware, and the early rounds, unless it's an old Premier League clash and you're trying to make a statement like we're just talking between Liverpool and Chelsea, the big clubs will try to do just enough as they can to get through to the next round without hazarding any of their top players. But as you get onto the later rounds, it becomes much more serious. And as you pointed out, Nick, silverware is silverware. This is one of the great things about football in Europe. And teams, particularly the top four, they'll be playing in the Champions League, the Premier League, the FA Cup, the League Cup. I mean, there are matches aplenty. Nick, how many is it? 60-plus games if you make it deep?
Well, yes. I mean, I think to win the FA Cup was 6 games. To win the League Cup, there's the double leg semi-finals, so that's 6. That's 12. To win the Champions League, I believe, is 13. So that's 25. And then you throw that on top of 38 games, and all of a sudden you're looking at 73 games if you decided to go all the way in every competition.
So it's 60 games plus if you're in these competitions and you go anywhere other than a first-round elimination. It's a lot of football to be played, Nick, and I guess that's it's the gift that keeps on giving, really, isn't it? So these are interesting matches midweek. When we come back after break, we're going to go to break here in just a minute. We're going to talk about Tottenham-Watford, potentially another gauntlet game. I mean, I believe Watford is sitting 1 point above Spurs in the table right now, and that's a game that neither team want to lose. I want to say this is at Wembley also. All right, this is Fifth Street Soccer. I'm Nick Eber. My co-host is Nick Webster. He is on Twitter. Nick, you're on Twitter at Nick Webster, right?
That's correct. Tweet me, and I will tweet you back, I promise.
Oh, little birdies. And I am on Twitter at Nick Geber. You can also find us at Fifth Street Sports. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. And we are on YouTube, Fifth Street Sports. And of course, find us on the web, fifthstreetsports.com. And if you're going there, sign up right now for the Fifth Street Advantage. Get yourself a subscription and a free line service from Sports Insights. Simply the best in the business. That's fifthstreetsports.com. All right, going to step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back with loads more here on Fifth Street Soccer.
And here's today's BRP safety tips. Riding outdoor recreational vehicles can be fun. These safety tips can help make your outdoor experience safe and enjoyable. Enroll in a motorcycle, ATV, snowmobile, or water safety course. Depending on the vehicle, always wear protective gear. Helmets, life jackets, goggles, long-sleeve shirts and pants, and gloves will help keep you incident-free. Always stick to the correct and legal number of people on your outdoor machine. And now a word from BRP.
It's time for the Yellow Tag sales event at your local BRP dealer, where you can save big on new Can-Am off-road vehicles. Can-Am vehicles were made to perform and make the most out of any challenge. And right now, quality costs less, because you can save up to $2,000 on select Can-Am vehicles. Just stop by your local BRP dealer right now before the Yellow Tag sales event is gone. Offer ends September 30th, 2018. Certain conditions may apply. See dealer for details.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
All right, folks, welcome back. Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio, American Forces. Nick Eber with you, along with Nick Webster. You can give us a call in studio if you have something to say. 800-878-PLAY. If you don't have something to say, you can just give us a call and ask if our refrigerator is running. It's entirely up to you. 800-878-PLAY. Nick, you actually were not on the show with me on Friday. I did the show with Tal Smith, and I made some selections based on some values of some odds that were out there. And we actually did... Well, I mean, we did well in our predictions, but some of them we didn't bet because there was no value and the obvious was going to win. So the big one was we bet the draw on Fulham-Watford, which turned out to be a draw. That paid plus 229, so that was a nice payday. But then I was horrendously disappointed with Bournemouth losing to lackluster Burnley, and I thought that was just an awful result. And Rafa Benitez figuring out how to completely stifle Wilfried Zaha.
Yeah, well, I would have, I would have had the draw. Crystal Palace, Newcastle, that was a stone-cold banker, especially after Zaha came out in midweek and said that referees don't give him any protection. You just knew that Rafa would go in with a game plan to flush the Zaha, which he did, and 0-0. I mean, I honestly, I would have had the draw and the under, and everyone would have been laughing.
Yeah, I didn't take total goals on any of them. I was very tempted to get to take the draw. My analysis at the time said, well, if Benitez can figure out how to stifle Zaha, this will be a draw. But I'm going to go with Zaha and Crystal Palace because they did so well for me the week prior. Leicester Huddersfield, I went with. Who do you think I went with on that one, Nick? Leicester Huddersfield.
Well, you went with Leicester and the over.
That's correct. I went with Leicester and the over. Absolutely correct. And that was 3-1 to Leicester. Liverpool, Southampton, I chose Liverpool, but there was no value there. And then Manchester United, Wolves, I didn't bet, Nick, because, I've had money stolen from me by Manchester United on at least 3 occasions this season alone. And quite frankly, it's like one of these people, if you've got a diamond collection, you don't leave your front door open and a sign that says, diamonds here. So I've decided that I'm not betting Manchester United anymore. But I was very, very, very tempted to bet the draw on that one. And it did end up being a draw. Plus 275.
And you would have recouped all your losses for the season on your foolish gambling on Manchester United. Wolverhampton Wanderers are a lot better than most teams that come up from the Championship. I think they are built to compete, they're built to play, and they're built to entertain. And for those of you who didn't see the game, I'll tell you what, Wolves could have quite easily come out of Old Trafford with all 3 points. I thought they were sensational, and it makes their result against Manchester City certainly not look like a fluke.
You know what I like about Wolves, Nick? Is they play with no fear, and they do not play with the weight of expectation. So they play the way they want to play, and they will get results this season. I think they've only lost 2 games all season. Is that right? 3? 2. They've lost 2.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I think
1.
They've only lost a couple of games.
Actually, they've lost 1. They've lost 1. That's my bad, and that was against Leicester away.
And they've gone to West Ham, and they've taken all 3 points there. They've, tied City, they've tied United, they've tied Everton. It's not like they've played the also-rans of the league and got results. So, Santos is doing an amazing job, and long may it continue. And I hope you don't doubt Wolves again the next time they play one of the big boys, especially Liverpool.
Yeah, Brighton, Tottenham. I actually had a draw for this one. Tottenham coming off an awful run of 3 successive defeats, and of course Tottenham did turn it around. I should have listened to Tal.
Yes, well, I'm sure Tal Smith had Tottenham winning this one with ease.
Yes, he did. The other one that I bet, Nick, that actually paid nicely was I bet Chelsea, West Ham for the draw, and got a nice plus 315 on that one.
Well, that's outstanding odds, and West Ham, they really did turn it around last week against Everton. We've said many times that there is so much quality in that team. Pellegrini brought in close to £200 million worth of players. And it is going to take time for them to settle. It is going to take time for them to gel. But I think what Pellegrini did, and he should be lauded for it, is he went back to basics and he got them right defensively. And that's been the knock on West Ham in the first 3-4 games of the season, was that they were all over the shop defensively. Well, now they've got back. They've got their first clean sheet of the second clean sheet of the season. First clean of the season. Sorry, Everton did score, and they fully deserve their win. And I like the fact that Pellegrini played a little bit of mind game, saying if you stop Hazard, you stop Chelsea. And they seem to walk straight into that. So Sarri blinked first out of the crop. Sarri, the race to see who could remain perfect.
Yeah, good stuff, isn't it, Nick? Good stuff. And the other matches I got, I picked Arsenal to beat Everton. And I'm just wondering, Nick, how much longer Marco Silva has. Is he going to be the first manager to get sacked?
Well, no, he's not going to be the first manager to get sacked. I think Everton waited quite some time to get him. Obviously, he was at Watford, and they created a bit of bother there. I've seen Everton play a couple of times, and they're actually quite entertaining. And I think losing Richarlison to a couple of match bans didn't help them. They're still trying to figure life out under Silva, who I think is a really good manager, and he will come good. So I would say there's more chance of Mourinho getting fired than Silva at this moment in time.
Well, of course, Mourinho came right out after his players after their draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers by saying that his attacking players let him down. And in all honesty, Nick, he's right. I mean, they did. It's not. It's really not. It's really not that difficult. I mean, defensively, they're not that bad. It's just they're not banging the ball in the back of the net. I mean, Alexis Sanchez has been a huge disappointment.
Oh, my God. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, Sanchez scored a goal every other game for Arsenal. I mean, one of the great goal scorers in the Premier League. And since arriving at United, I mean, he struggles to plow his arse with a banjo. And I'm not really sure what's going on with Alexis, other than the fact that his style of play is not suited to Manchester United.
Yeah, I think that's it, is that Mourinho doesn't have a system that works with his players. But yeah, they're not scoring enough by a long shot, and it's a real problem for them. The other thing I was thinking about Everton is, if I'm not mistaken, when I checked out Physio Room, they had an enormous amount of injuries. Nick, am I mistaken there?
Well, I think what Everton struggle with right now, and it's really of their own making. They don't have a centre forward who puts the fear of God in people, and Lukaku got sold from underneath the manager's feet, and they've never really placed Lukaku. And unless you have a goal scorer, unless you have that man who has the ability to put the ball in the back of the net on a consistent basis, you are always going to struggle in the Premier League, and that is exactly what is happening with Everton right now.
Yeah, it is a problem, and they are really, really struggling. We'll see. They're not typically a club that makes knee-jerk reactions, though, in terms of managerial changes, Nick.
Well, they did with the Dutchman, Mr. Ronald Koeman. I mean, he was out on his ear before he knew it.
Yeah, but that's typically Dutch managers you're allowed to do that with.
Yeah, I think the issue with Everton right now, they just haven't gelled enough under Marco Silva, and I mean it does surprise me because I think he's a good manager. And he did well at Hull. He did well at Watford until he got kind of distracted. So yeah, I mean you are right. I mean there's very little patience in the Premier League, and Silva's going to have to start getting some results sharpish.
Yeah, indeed, Nick. Indeed, it's certainly shaping up that way. And then, of course, on the other end, well, I'll say on the other end, but not too far down the table, apparently there's going to be a big powwow between Rafa Benitez and Mike Ashley at Newcastle United, where Benitez and Ashley are discussing how much dosh they're going to spend in January in the transfer window and in order to get Benitez to stay. But my thoughts on that, Nick, is the January window is the worst place to be spending your money. And I'm just wondering if this is an attempt to sign Benitez to a multi-year contract and hope that if he has to bring him back up, he can do it.
Well, I don't think Benitez will stay another year at Newcastle. I mean, can you imagine working under Mike Ashley? It'd be like working under you. I mean, there's never any money in the kitty. I mean, I think with Newcastle United and Benitez, the one saving grace is that Benitez is a masterful defensive coach. I mean, he really knows how to set up a team to get a result. And I think the squad is full of players that are willing to roll up their sleeves and battle. And that could be a difference between, say, Newcastle being in a relegation scrap and Everton being in a relegation scrap. I would put my money on Newcastle over Everton any day of the week.
Because of Benitez's defensive posture. I mean, absolutely, Nick. I am a massive Rafa Benitez fan. I was when he was at Liverpool. I think the man is in many respects a genius, but he needs something to work with, and he needs to be able to sign players, and he needs to, have the backing of ownership, and without that, you could be a maestro on the bench, but unless Benitez is going to suit up and get out there and score goals himself, which is unlikely given the fact that he's about as fat as I am, they're going to be in trouble.
Well, the interesting thing for me, Nick, is that you're a bit of a wheeler and dealer, and you like putting people together. How about finding a buyer for Newcastle United? I mean, this is a fan base that regularly. I mean, it's hard to believe, but regularly fills St James's Park with 52,000 people. Okay, it's not like they're also rans in that department. I mean, it's a rabid fan base. Can you imagine when the Shepherds took over Newcastle and they brought Alan Shearer and brought Keegan in and Ginola and Asprilla? I mean, this was a team that pushed Manchester United all the way in the Premier League at a couple of years running. So I'm saying to you, find Mike Ashley a buyer, and you and I will be Toon Army fans for the rest of our lives.
Well, it's unlikely, but Nick, the problem I would have is no one can understand anyone in Newcastle. I mean, quite honestly, they don't speak English. I have a Geordie brother-in-law. I can barely understand him.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic. I can actually understand Scottish people easier than someone from Newcastle.
So true. All right, folks, you're listening to Fifth Street Soccer on Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio. Nick Keeber with my co-host, Nick Webster. The two Nicks in the house here. And we're in the house with you every Monday through Friday right here on these networks at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time for 1 hour of the beautiful game right here. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk, Twitter, Fifth Street Sports, and go to the web, fifthstreetsports.com, folks, and sign up for the Fifth Street Advantage right now. Get yourself a subscription. Get some of the best inside betting tips you can get in your text message every day, and get a free line service from Sports Insights. Take a break. Be right back.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
All right, welcome back to the show, Fifth Street Soccer. I had to think about that for a second. That's what happens when you're old. Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio. Nick Eber and Nick Webster, my co-host, on the phone. It's been a good hour. We've chatted about a lot. Folks, want to remind you this week we will be giving you all of our picks for the weekend's Premier League matches. And Nick, we just got a couple of quick minutes, literally. You give me winners here. QPR Blackpool.
QPR.
Bournemouth Blackburn.
Bournemouth.
Yeah, I'm with you. Burton Albion Burnley.
I'm going to say Burnley because they need to maintain momentum.
Millwall Fulham. At Millwall.
At Millwall, I'm going to go with Millwall. I think Fulham have got their eye on the prize, which is staying in the Premier League.
And how many cars will be burned after the match if Millwall lose? All right. City away at Oxford United. I'm going to go City on that one, Nick.
Yes, no surprises there.
Borough travelling to Preston North End.
Well, actually, Preston at Deepdale are usually a tricky proposition, so I would think that Borough are going to focus more on trying to get out of the Championship, where they've been close for the last couple of years, but haven't managed to get over the finishing line. Preston North End with that one.
All right, Wolves at home against Leicester. I'm going Wolves, Nick.
Well, I'm not sure what kind of teams, both managers will be putting out, but I would imagine that Wolves, given their current form, would be a trickier proposition than Leicester, who right now are struggling for consistency.
All right, with just a couple seconds left, literally, we've got 30 seconds left. Let's run down the last ones. No comments, just winners. Wycombe Norwich.
Wycombe.
Man United Derby.
United.
West Brom Crystal Palace.
I'm going to go with Palace. I fancy Hodgson over that one.
All right. Arsenal Brentford. I'm going with Arsenal. Liverpool Chelsea.
Yes.
Liverpool Chelsea. I'm going with Liverpool. Chelsea, really? Really at Anfield?
Just to be contrarian.
All right. Nottingham Forest Stoke.
Come on, Forest.
All right. West Ham Macclesfield.
West Ham.
And Tottenham Watford.
Tottenham, all the way.
All right, there you have our Carabao Cup picks, folks. It's that easy. Join us tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific. Same bat network, same bat time, same bat place. Nick Eber, Nick Webster with you. Till tomorrow, have a great night. Cheers.
Good show, guys. Excellent.
USA Radio News.
For USA Radio
Thanks,
News,
Scott.
I'm Robin Walensky. He's heard from the president. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh tells